Hi there, my name's Ian Spicer and I'm a certified PSYCH-K instructor. This video is a video about PSYCH-K. It's going to give you some information about what PSYCH-K is, some of the differences between PSYCH-K and the other things that are out there in the transformation world, and also some information on the couple of ways you can get started if you want to learn PSYCH-K. So why am I here talking to you? Well, I've been working professionally with PSYCH-K since 2006, and since then I've worked with over 5,000 people in one-on-one private sessions and seen incredible, profound, amazing transformations take place. And it's nothing more satisfying than being able to facilitate and help someone go through that process. The other thing I do is I'm a certified PSYCH-K instructor, which means I also teach people how to do PSYCH-K or facilitate PSYCH-K in PSYCH-K workshops. And at the moment I teach the PSYCH-K in-person basic workshop, the in-person advanced workshop or advanced integration workshop, the in-person master facilitation workshop, and I also facilitate the divine integration retreat. I also teach the PSYCH-K online level 1 and online level 2 workshops, which we started bringing into the PSYCH-K world at the middle of 2021, and they've just been an incredible blessing to be a part of as well, because now people can learn PSYCH-K from wherever they are in the world, from the comfort of their own home, and be able to start experiencing incredible changes with themselves and also learn how to facilitate with others. So what's PSYCH-K all about? Well, it's very simple. It's all in the name. Psych means mind and K means key. So it's a key for the mind. Specifically though, it's a key for the subconscious mind. And that's the part of our mind where all of our programs are, right? So what we're able to do with a PSYCH-K balance process, and that's the process we use to make the change, is we're able to facilitate high-speed mindset change. We're able to do two different things. One is we're able to take a goal statement, which is a bit like an affirmation. It's an intention you have set up in a specific way, and go through a 7-step process called the balance and hardwire that in as a new belief. So instead of saying an affirmation for months and hoping it works, in 3, 4, 5, maybe 7 minutes when you're first getting started, you're going to be able to start with your goal statement. And we use muscle testing to communicate with the subconscious mind, because we work directly with the subconscious. If you haven't heard about that, we'll probably talk about that in another video, but we test to see if we have it as a belief or not. For example, I deeply value and respect myself. We muscle test. If you haven't got that as a belief, we then go through a 7-step process, and then at the end we test again. I deeply value and respect myself. Strong response. Boom, 7 minutes, brand new hardwired belief, right? And the great thing is we get verification through the muscle testing that it's actually done. And there's a couple of key things in this process that make it different. One is that we're working with specific goal statements, so we know exactly what we're putting in our system. Yep. 2, before we actually go through and make the change, we check in also not just with our subconscious, but with the bigger part of our consciousness. We call it the superconscious. You could call it your higher self or your spirit. We check in with that part of ourselves with the muscle testing to make sure it's not going to put us in any harm and it's appropriate in the big scheme of our life. And when we get the strong response there, it's actually one of the activations that opens up the hard drive. And then we use something called whole brain integration posture, right? Because while we're working with the mind, which is the energetic part of ourself, we also work with the brain. Our brain is like the processing chip of a computer. The mind is like the hard drive. So we work with a physical posture that makes the left and right side of the brain integrated, talk to each other. And that's a key part of the process, because when we do the balance and we create the new subconscious belief, it doesn't only create the subconscious belief, it actually turns on all of our brain processing capacity. Because when we have a limiting belief, it's actually turned off. Yeah. So that's one of the things we can do, and we can do those beliefs and create those new beliefs in any area of our life we like, whether it's about self-esteem. I deeply value and respect myself. I deserve the very best in life. I'm worthy of the best. I'm proud of who I am. Yeah, whether it's in around relationships. I deeply respect my partner. Yeah, or it could be I'm worthy of a deep and loving relationship, or it's safe for me to have a deep and loving relationship. It could be around money. Money flows to me in avalanches of abundance, to quote a great affirmation from Dr. Joseph Murphy's book, Power of the Subconscious Mind, which if you haven't read, from the 1960s, it's awesome. And when you've done the PSYCH-K workshop, it'll blow your mind if you read it afterwards. I trust myself with money. I'm a magnet for money-making opportunities. Yeah, whether it's around your work, around leadership, team building, communication, public speaking. I personally struggled with being able to speak in public my whole life. I'd get up in front of people and just freeze and look at people speaking easily and effortlessly in front of groups. Could not believe that they were able to do that without being stressed. I did multiple public speaking courses that only made me more and more traumatized. And I needed to do it because it was part of my job. But when I discovered PSYCH-K and did a few balances, transformed the stress around the public speaking, it's never been a problem ever again. It was almost immediate. I was able to get up and just start speaking to people, 5, 10, 100, 1,000 even, without any problem at all. It can be that quick. So one of the things is we can create these new beliefs. The other thing we can do with the balance process, if we modify it a bit, is we can take any distress that's in the system out. So we can bring the new beliefs in and we can take the distress out, right? So that could include anything that we've got as a fear, worry, concern, or even phobias. Fear of heights, fear of spiders, any kind of negative emotions. The big ones: anger, sadness, embarrassed, humiliated, resentment, horror, shock. All of those things, we can work with the balance to take it out. Losses, grief from loss, losing a person, losing an arm, a car, a business, an opportunity, time, victim narratives, even mental overwhelm and physical pressures, we can work on with a balance. Yeah. So we can do two things. We can bring the new beliefs in and we can take the distress out. And when you can do that, it changes everything. It is a massive game changer. And there is nothing but massive upside potential when you're able to do that. Consider this. Traditional psychology says, and I'm assuming I'm talking to people here that understand this, that we have a subconscious, 70% of the beliefs, or all the beliefs that most of the beliefs we inherit before the age of 8 years old, and they are then our automatic default system through our life. We're only in the conscious moment after 8 or 9 about 5% of the time. So 95% of the time, all of our subconscious beliefs that we inherited are pretty much running our system. And they don't represent our dreams and wishes. According to traditional psychology, 70% of that program is really limiting for us. And I would suggest limiting is a nice word. I would suggest toxic, damaging, and destructive, right? And it's the reason why consciously we know what we want and we take one step forward towards our goal, but then the subconscious, when we've got our eye off the ball, takes us 2 or 3 steps back all the time. So it's a real day-to-day struggle to try and reach our goals. The name of the game with PSYCH-K, remove all the stress, optimize the beliefs, so when we take action towards our goals, we take one step forward, then the subconscious gets behind us when we're not thinking about what we're doing. In that 95% of the time, it keeps moving us towards our goals. So life becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And when we're able to do this stuff, we're able to really do a comprehensive job, and we have the tools to do a comprehensive job in our whole life. Yeah, we're able to go and make a list of all the major stressful events in our life, whether it's stuff we've experienced, stuff we picked up from our parents. You've heard of this concept, post-traumatic stress. Goodbye with PSYCH-K balances. Right? Whether it's stuff that's happening now in the present moment, or whether it's stuff that hasn't happened yet that we've got fear around, we can work with all of that with the transform the perception of stress process, which is a modified balance process that you learn in the PSYCH-K workshops. The other thing you can do is look at all of the different areas of your life that you're taking part in, whether it's your family life, whether it's your work life, whether it's your personal self-esteem, yeah, whether it's your health, even simple things like I love exercise. I only eat healthy, nutritious food. These things can be life-changing, game changers. Simple, but they're going to help you live longer, feel better, and look better, right? Yeah, there's so much you can go and do, and it's so vast, the opportunity. And the crazy thing is the Psych-K is not powerful. We are. We're so powerful. I believe, and we believe in Psych-K, that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. I believe we're spiritual beings with infinite potential. And we're just all stuck in this prison of limiting beliefs. And this is a way to be able to get in there and just bust out of that prison and start experiencing life in a whole new way. Change the frequency. I've heard before that the subconscious is like a big transmitter and receiver, right? So if you're listening to the radio station on Classic Hits FM, but you don't like the song you're listening to and you want to listen to some classical music, can you hear it if you're tuned to Classic Hits FM? I don't think so. What do you need to do? Change the channel. Then you can pick up all of that frequency of the classical music. And that's what we do every time we make all of these changes. We're tweaking up all the areas of our life so we're tuned in to what we want rather than all of the useless beliefs and a lot of the time damaging beliefs that we inherited. Yeah? It just makes everything so much easier. As I said, self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay? So, how do you get started with Psych-K? Well, there's two ways. One is the in-person basic workshop, and the other is the online level 1 workshop. And they're very similar in a lot of ways, but there are some differences in the delivery particularly and the application. And so I want to tell you about the differences so you can, it can help you make a decision about what might be best for you. So the in-person basic workshop, both are 3 days. Yep, both are fully live and both are fully interactive the whole time. In both of the workshops, you're learning Psych-K in an accelerated learning format. You're learning all the different parts of the recipe to make the Psych-K cake, which is basically gives you the ability to go and facilitate Psych-K with yourself and also with others. Or with others only in the basic workshop, but I'll talk about that in just a moment. Yep. So, the Psych-K in-person basic workshop is 3 days. Oh, also there's a difference in the price, and you can see that if you go and look on the psych-k.com websites or on my website at ianspicer.com. Okay, so the Psych-K in-person basic, most of the practice sessions you do are going to be with a partner. Remember, it's a live workshop, so you're going to be learning how to muscle test a partner and facilitate the balance process with a partner, and they're going to be learning with you. In that learning process, you'll do about 15 practice sessions with someone doing that with you and you doing that with someone else. You do learn self-muscle testing, but you'll probably only do about 4 or 5 balance processes with yourself. So it's important to know that you're going to need to do a lot of practice afterwards to get really that confidence with yourself. And you can 100% do it, but you're going to need to do a lot of practice with the self-muscle testing. Some people will get it faster than others, but some people will need to do a bit more practice than others, just so you know. But you're going to learn how to also do it with somebody else. The online level 1 workshop is exclusively for personal use. So there's no partner. So all of that time, instead of working with another person, you're learning how to do self-muscle testing, how to work with yourself exclusively, many different ways to do that. And then you're doing 30 to 40 balance processes with yourself. So you're getting a lot more practice with yourself. So you definitely come out with a lot more confidence and momentum personally, but you don't get the working with others aspect of it. And you also go through a lot more transformation in the level 1 because you're doing 30 or 40 balance processes, right? So you come out a lot surer and a lot more momentum moving forward, yeah? A lot more belief in what you're doing, yeah? So that's level 1. The other part that is different is in the in-person basic, you learn the new direction balance, which you actually learn in both workshops, online level 1 and in-person basic, which is the most used and most popular balance process in the PSYCH-K world. This balance process we're able to use to create new belief and transform stress, like I talked about before. And we learn that in both workshops. But you learn a second balance process in the in-person basic, which is called the resolution balance. Right? It's a different way to create new beliefs and also transform stress. And the benefit of that is it can give you a variety of tools to use rather than just the one. It can make things a little more interesting. In the online level 1, we learn the one balance process that you can still do everything with, and instead of learning the second balance process, we do a much deeper dive and lesson into creating beliefs and creating goal statements. So in both workshops, you learn how to create your own beliefs, the 5 key criteria to create a well-formed belief statement. But in addition, in the online level 1, you learn how to take the wisdom of masters, so Gandhi, Lao Tzu, Rumi, Buddha, etc., add your master in there and take their wisdom, and rather than just have it as a quote on your social media site, you can take that beautiful wisdom and learn how to internalize it as a subconscious belief in your own system. I love this. You can also take any of your favorite books, whether they're personal development, spirituality, health, fitness, happiness, books. I mean, it could be about anything you're interested in: martial arts, property development, speed reading, leadership, team building, and all of these other things, where these legends of our world have created these beautiful books with this knowledge, and take the key information out of these books and internalize it. So rather than just leaving them as lessons to remember, they become internalized wisdom for you. And that's also a very, very powerful idea. That is truly standing on the shoulders of giants in the most powerful way you can. And it creates what Bruce Lipton refers to, and I'm sure most of you know who he is as well, a super learning state for ourselves. Yep. We also learn how we can internalize the characteristics of our mentors as well, profile them and internalize that, rather than just recognizing and trying to do it with the conscious mind. Yeah, I call it bypassing this old-fashioned thing called remembering and going straight to internalizing. So they're the two different, the main differences between the two workshops, apart from the price. If you're interested in either or, I'm more than happy to have a call with you, a personal call, if you want to explore further, have any questions, want me to give you some personalized overview or some more information about any of these. My website is www.ianspicer.com, and I've got a whole heap of information on there, and I'd be more than happy to chat to you at any time. If you need anything, you can also reach out to me. My email, you can find my email and contact details on the PSYCH-K.com website, and yeah, so hope that's been helpful for you. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you at a workshop soon, or catching up with you for a discovery call. And hope you have a really, really awesome day. Okay now, see ya.